Hello, and welcome back for your SOE2 Clinical Anaesthesia. This short video will provide you with information and instructions about your next examination. Following this briefing, you will undertake your Clinical Anaesthesia examination, which consists of a long case and 2 short cases in 36 minutes. The initial 10 minutes of this exam will be spent in this room, where you will review a long case with associated clinical artefacts. After this, you will proceed to the examination room, where you will be examined by 2 examiners. The first examiner will conduct the exam based on a 2-part long case, consisting of a pre-op assessment and intra-op management in 13 minutes. A bell will sound. Then the second examiner will examine you on 2 unrelated short cases in 13 minutes. When this video is over, the invigilator will assign you a letter. This will indicate where you will sit when reviewing your long case material, and also which station you'll be examined in. Once cubicle letters have been assigned, you will be asked to take the seat that corresponds to the letter given to you and check the information pack in front of you to ensure you have the correct documents and artefacts. The pink sheet at the front of the pack shows the question number and lists the artefacts relevant to today's case. Check through your pack to ensure paperwork and artefacts are correct. Please do not begin writing at this point. Once all candidates have checked their packs and everyone is satisfied their material is correct, a bell will sound. You may now start reading your long case material and reviewing the accompanying artefacts. You may take notes as you go. Paper and pencils are provided. You can take your notes with you to the examination room. However, please do not mark or remove the artefacts from the room. Copies of all the artefacts will be available in the examination room. Computer screens have been placed in this room and may be displaying some of the artefacts relevant to your long case. You may view the screens during your 10 minutes, and you'll be given a few minutes at the end of the review period to take a further look at the screens. The same artefacts will be shown on similar screens in the examination cubicle, and you will also be provided with a photographic copy of these images in your pack. If there are no images displayed on the screens, then there are no artefacts in your long case that need to be displayed on a computer. At the end of the 10 minutes in this room, a bell will ring. At this point, please stop writing, leave the artefacts on the desk, and take your notes with you. You will then be given a brief opportunity to view the images on the computer screens before you leave for the exam room. You cannot amend your notes at this stage. There may be a slight delay at this point, as we wait for the examiners to finish marking the previous group of candidates, and you'll be asked to wait in this room until they are ready. When the examiners are ready, the invigilator will ask you to enter the exam room and proceed to the cubicle that corresponds to the letter you have been given. Your examiners will welcome you and ask you to take a seat. If you recognise one or both of your examiners, the examiners will decide what action to take. You will only be asked to move to another cubicle if either of your examiners is or have been directly involved in your training, or if they're a relative or a personal friend. There is no requirement to move cubicles if you recognise your examiners from a meeting, or if you met them briefly in a hospital or on a course. Recognition is a 2-way process. If the examiner doesn't know the candidate, then there is no requirement to move. However, if your examiners agree that you should swap to another station, they will alert the examiner lead and you'll be moved to a different cubicle. Alternatively, you may be asked to swap if somebody else knows their examiner. If you're involved in a swap, be assured that papers will be amended to reflect any alterations, and the electronic marking system will update automatically to take account of all candidates changing cubicles. If there is a third person in the cubicle, this may be a visitor to the exam, or an auditor of examiners. They will be seated outside of your line of vision, and are there just to observe the exam. They play no part in your assessment or the awarding of marks. If you're uncomfortable with their presence, please inform the examiners before the exam begins, and the observer will be asked to move to another cubicle. The exam will not start until everyone is settled. Once everyone is ready and settled in their cubicle, a double bell will ring to indicate the start of the exam. There are up to 12 cubicles on each exam floor. All examiners and candidates will be working through the same questions at the same time. You can normally blank out background noise by concentrating on the examiner speaking to you. However, You should consider other candidates when answering questions in your cubicle. Try to keep the volume of your voice in line with that of your examiners.
Proteinuria, edema.
If you do begin to speak loudly, you may be asked to lower your voice. Don't be put off by this. Just reset your voice to a lower level and carry on. An examiner will first examine you on the long case, then after 13 minutes a bell will ring, and your second examiner will examine you on the 2 short cases for a further 13 minutes. A double bell will sound to indicate the end of your clinical anaesthesia examination. After your clinical anaesthesia exam, you're free to leave the college, and we wish you a safe journey home. Please hand in your candidate badge to the exams receptionist and sign out of the college before you leave. Your admission notice, which was sent to you by email before you attended for the exam, sets out the date and time that results are to be published. Your result in the Final FRCA SOE, in the form of a pass and fail list, will be published on the college website following a statistical analysis of exam data. Candidates are identified on the pass and fail list by the use of their candidate number only, that is the 3-figure number displayed on the badge you have been wearing today. Confirmation of your result will be sent to you by post. Your result letter will provide a breakdown of your performance in each part of the SOE, along with your total score for the exams you have attended today. If you pass the exam, your letter will provide further information on awarding you the fellowship and how you can record your details in the Fellows Register. Before your exam begins, here is a reminder on what to do if you hear a fire alarm. Please proceed calmly to the nearest fire exit. This may be down the main staircase you have just come up, past reception and out through the main door. Or you may be directed down the back staircase and out of the fire exit onto Theobald's Road. Please follow the instructions of the lead examiner. The muster point for the college is in Red Lion Square. Please remain there and wait further instructions. If you have any questions, please ask the invigilator now. And all the very best with your exam today.